This is Hello Moon. I'm Jason, joined with
Jessica.
And Jonathan.
Tonight we're discussing biopics, our favorites, our least favorites, our rankings, and potentially even casting each other in our own biopics that are destined for the future.
One day. It'll happen. You never know.
As I mentioned previously, I had not prepared as well as you, but I do have my list of favorites. I don't have them ranked, but that's also a discussion that can happen. I think one of my favorites of all time, because it also is my True Crime is my favorite section of the bookstore, and Wise Guy by Nicholas Pileggi is my favorite true crime book, and that is what Goodfellas is based on.
Henry Hill.
Yeah, so I think the Henry Hill story in Goodfellas is probably going to be my number one. But the rest are unranked, so we can just...
Yeah, I didn't rank any of mine. I just made a list of ones that I thought were good, ones that I thought were bad, and an honorable mention for...
Yeah.
I also had Goodfellas on my list. It is an excellent biopic.
Yeah, it's a great book, too.
I've never read the book, but I've seen the movie.
As everyone always says, the book's better than the movie, but I still think the movie is fantastic.
Yeah.
Even after reading the book, like, it's great.
Yeah, I liked when he fought off the Dementors.
Yeah, that was one of the best parts.
They were the bad fellas.
Yeah, the worst part of prison.
Yeah, there's been a few good ones that are recent too. I really liked Iron Claw.
Iron Claw was good.
Oppenheimer was really good.
I haven't seen that yet.
We went and saw the Bob Marley one recently, and that was pretty good.
I actually really liked that. I think it was a little bit of a puff piece biopic. Like, I really think they tried to make him look a lot nicer. Or just
well, I would have liked to have seen more of him like as a kid and stuff growing up too. And they just did like the span of one album.
Yeah.
So
it was fine. I saw it with Lance, but other than that,
most of the ones I thought of were musical. Well, not musicals, but music related.
Yeah.
Like the Doors movie and Ray. Walk the Line.
I've got Ray and Walk the Line as well. I forgot about the Doors. It's
Sid and Nancy, Amadeus, The Pianist.
Walk Hard.
Yeah. One musical one that I did not like was The Greatest Showman.
Oh, yeah. That's considered one of the worst biopics.
I enjoy it as a musical, if I'm being honest.
Well, that's part of my problem is I just don't really like musicals that much.
Right, but as a biopic, it's not accurate
at all.
Which again, it's a dramatization with music, so Yeah. But as far as is this an accurate movie? No.
Oh, another good one that I liked was the Temptations movie with Leon as David Riffin or whatever his name was.
Oh.
It was made by, I think, VH1 in the late 90s. It was really good.
Oh, I don't think I've seen that.
The Temptations one was good.
It's like 4 hours long. It's really good.
Yeah, it was broadcast on TV as a series, like a miniseries.
They used to play it back to back with the Michael Jackson family one.
Yeah.
Where he has like the little pet mouse in his kitchen and his dad kills it. And he's like, no, that's my friend Ben. And then he sings that Ben song for that movie that was the prequel to Willard about the rats.
Isn't that the one that starred the guy that really didn't look at all like Michael Jackson? That's the one from the 90s.
Yeah. Well, I think they had multiple actors play him because they had like an African American child, and then I think they had a white man maybe play him.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I could be wrong. It's been
a while.
20 years since I've seen that movie.
Yeah. Either way, it didn't look like him. It was still. I do remember seeing this movie.
Yeah.
I've also got Schindler's List on my list here.
It's a good one. I've got a couple Leo ones, and The Aviator and Catch Me If You Can. Both excellent films.
Yeah. Catch Me If You Can is a favorite. I've seen that guy, but I've heard that some of the things he said that he did were embellishments, and not everything was totally accurate from some sources. But either way, It's a great story. I saw him on the what was the game show? To Tell the Truth.
Yeah.
Or they were having to pick who was telling the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he made a good career out of it, from start to finish, really.
Yeah, a few others I had. Bronson, I thought that was really good.
I thought about Bronson, but I always had this question, like, if it's not historically accurate in every bit.
It's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also had Chaplin, the Charlie Chaplin movie.
It's on my list, too.
Miracle, just because I really like hockey. And
Seabiscuit.
Seabiscuit, yeah. October Sky.
October
I
Sky
didn't know
was a
that
good
was
one.
a documentary.
Yeah.
Or, no, biopic.
Yeah. I had a Basquiat movie. That was a really good one. Yeah, that's most of my good lists.
Chaplin was always a favorite of mine when I was a kid. The Pianist. We already said Walk the Line.
Yeah.
The Elephant Man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a big one.
I am human. I am not an animal.
When I was researching this topic, I was surprised at how many biopic films there actually were. I don't think I realized how, like, until I started digging and looking at all the list of the movies, I really didn't realize how that's such a big part of the movie industry.
Yeah.
A big category. And then when you're watching the biopics, there's so many different factions that start coming off of the main one. So there's biopics about politicians, musicians, everyday heroes, and what else?
You normally think of, like, famous people, movies being made about them, but then there are the stories like Catch Me If You Can, where
that's an everyday
you wouldn't know
person.
that guy unless
He was a kid.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Yeah, there are a lot of just great stories that lend themselves to movies.
And then there's a lot of biopics that I didn't know were actually biopics. They were based off of a real story. Like, I didn't think about The Sound of Music being a real biopic.
Were those real people?
Yeah. And it was a real story. Now, they said that the family said that it was a little iffy, the storyline between the nun and the husband, or the dad, I guess. And then there's, like, Patch Adams. I didn't realize that was a real person.
Oh, yeah.
And The Goodfellas was just one of your favorites.
Yeah, Goodfellas.
I kind of just thought it was like a mob story. And then Jesus Christ Superstar, if you think about it, is a biopic. It's true. It is a biopic. Isn't that interesting to think about?
Yeah.
So is Pocahontas.
Yeah.
By Disney. That's a biopic.
Oh, The Revenant.
I mean, are we basing a biopic on a movie that just includes a character that existed in real life?
Yes.
I mean...
And that's a biopic? It would have to be about their life.
Well,
Pocahontas wasn't about the life of Pocahontas, necessarily.
Who was it about then?
There's so many biopics about, like, small fractions of time that happened.
Well, like, there's Once Upon a Time
and
in Hollywood.
It's animated and completely fictional.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, it's got Bruce Lee in it, and it's got real people.
I'm thinking a biopic is...
Susan Tate, but that's not how it happened. Like, Inglourious Basterds, it's got Hitler in it, but that's not what happened to
so
Hitler.
Inglourious Basterds is not a biopic, just because it includes people who existed in real life. A biopic is like a story about a person's life.
It's a mostly true story.
About a person's life.
So Jesus Christ Superstar fits, right?
I would not claim that as one.
Well, it's on the list of biopics.
Where's this list coming from?
The internet. Duh.
Because I'm looking at Straight Outta Compton.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Another great biopic.
Yeah.
Hats off to O'Shea Jackson Jr.
Yeah.
Who did a great job. Moneyball.
Yeah.
I just watched that the other day.
Yeah, me and Jonathan saw that in theaters for the first
Yeah.
time when it came out. Fantastic movie.
What's his name? Chadwick Boseman. The one where he plays James Brown was really good.
Yeah, that was good. Get on up.
He did Jackie Robinson also.
Mhm.
I've seen that
was
one,
even
actually.
42.
Chadwick Boseman is like a star of a lot of these biopics that came out in quick succession in a period of time.
I wonder if you get casted in one biopic, people are like, huh, he'd be really good in this other biopic, and it's just kind of, you get limited.
You're kind of flexing in front
only
of
if you're
everyone.
a good actor. I mean, it says a lot about how he did.
Some biopics
you-
are terrible.
Because you're having to be
You show off your talents, and
these
they're like, oh,
different
well,
people
we know he can do
in
it.
such a wide fashion. If they're the same people, you're playing different people, and you're clearly good at playing different people. That's a good actor.
I mean,
May he rest in peace.
well, when I was thinking about it, I was like, some of the best actors have a lot of biopics to their name. But then I wonder if that only calls for really good actors, and why, so many biopics fail miserably is because of the acting, too.
Well, I mean, it's displaying the range of the actor, because yes, they're playing multiple people who existed, but those people could be completely different from each other.
But there are biopics, like I think about Bohemian Rhapsody. I don't think it was a good movie, but I do think Rami Malek's interpretation of the character, I think is a great, well done.
Oh, I think it was a good movie.
I didn't think it was very good.
Why not?
I think it was just too, I don't know, kitschy, and like I didn't think that the wigs were really all that great.
It was a little abbreviated, just
Yeah.
like the
All
how they
right.
met and
All
stuff. But like,
But he was amazing.
He was amazing.
phenomenal.
the soundtrack's obviously
Oh,
really
yeah.
good.
But
Yeah.
I just didn't think the movie was that moving to
I
me.
see.
You know who
Okay.
I felt about was
That's fair.
I felt that same way about Rocket Man. I didn't
Oh.
like the Elton John one.
I really
I
liked.
didn't see it.
I liked the like drug-induced kind of dreamscapes aspect of it.
Yeah.
Like that was really interesting, and
And I mean, obviously the songs are good, but
yeah,
I'm not a big musicals fan, and
yeah,
they're telling half the story through song.
through song, yeah,
I have a Remember the Titans
Yeah,
yeah.
biopic.
That is a
Boom.
biopic.
Classic. They used to show that all the time in my classes in high school.
Yeah,
Like, especially if a coach was the sub for the day.
yeah.
You'd come in and like, hey guys, I know you're supposed to do geometry, but I've got this TV on a cart. And he'd roll it in and pop in the VHS or whatever at the time.
My movie in high school that was played a lot was Dreamgirls. That was a big.
Dreamgirls.
It had just come out, and everyone was like, "You'll learn something from this."
Yeah, they never played Dreamgirls at
Oh
our school.
yeah.
Not for my class, at least.
When I was thinking about my list for movies, I tried not to look at the internet. I was just like, what can I think of automatically?
Yeah.
Which biopics really like stuck with me? And the first one I thought about was Milk, with Harvey Milk. Do y'all remember that? And Sean Penn
Yeah,
I
played him.
owned
Sean
that on
Penn.
DVD for a while.
So
Yeah.
good, so good. And then James Franco was in it, right?
Yep,
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
in Milk.
he was his partner.
Yeah, I really like that one. And then one you guys, neither one of you might not know about, is Maudie. Have you ever heard of Maudie?
Maudie?
Mm-hmm.
Starring Sally Hawkins.
Yeah, from The Shape of Water, and Ethan Hawke.
Yeah.
Well, Ethan Hawke can do no wrong,
Oh,
but I've
yeah.
never heard of Maudie.
No, it's about a folk artist named Maud Lewis, who painted and lived in Nova Scotia, Canada. And she, like, I knew about her to begin with because I'm really interested in art history. But she was a folk artist with rheumatoid arthritis, so she she was crippled in a lot of ways and like had issues with her body, and she would paint these like really beautiful countryside paintings and sell them. She got really famous in New York for her like folky kind of artwork.
Yeah.
And Ethan Hawke plays her love interest in it. It's a really great one.
I mean, I like Ethan Hawke. I've never seen anything he's in that I didn't like.
No,
but
you'd
I've
like
just
this.
never heard
And
this.
speaking
Yeah.
of Ethan Hawke, he directed Blaze, about the guitarist Blaze Foley,
Yeah.
who was an Austin musician, and he got shot to death by his friend's kid
God.
because he was stealing his dad's social security checks, and he tried to like stop him, and he got shot. But yeah, it was a really good story, and Ethan Hawke directed that, and he was like the narrator on the radio.
Was it like a biopic or was it a documentary?
No, it's a biopic.
Oh wow. So it's kind of like he was in some biopics and then he made some biopics. My last one that I came up with was Man on the Moon.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
great.
with Jim Carrey.
Man on the Moon is a great one.
Oh yeah, and then the interesting thing about Man on the Moon was that later they had a documentary come out about the making of the biopic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was a Netflix special. Jim and Carrey, The Great Beyond. I thought it was really cool because you got to see more about the biopic and the filming of it, and then it made me wonder about whether there are biopics and documentaries like that where they came in a coupled sense of like you could see it twice essentially.
There kind of is with Apocalypse Now.
Oh.
Francis Ford Coppola's wife was filming everything behind the scenes while it was being made, and she made her documentary about the making of the movie.
Oh, that's cool.
And how the making of the movie is almost more interesting than the actual movie itself.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was kind of.
Well, the other two that I could come up with were it was Marwen Call, which is a documentary, but
Steve
then
Carell.
yeah, and then Welcome to Marwen was with Steve Carell. That's the biopic, but the documentary came first and then the biopic.
Yep.
Yeah, and the other one I could think about was Grey Gardens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the Jim Carrey thing where he lost himself in the role, it's kind of like I try to think of other actors who have like lost themselves in the roles, like how they said like Heath Ledger lost himself in the Joker and all that.
Yeah.
Like how Austin Butler just talked like Elvis for like
Years.
Oh,
years,
yeah.
and he
Years
still
afterwards.
kind of does.
Yeah.
He said he's had a vocal coach
Yeah.
to get him to get rid of that.
Yeah, and a lot of people didn't like that movie. I enjoyed it.
I really enjoyed it.
liked
He
it.
did a great job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what anybody else is talking about. That
He
was
said he actually felt like
great
he
performance.
damaged his vocal cords with that because he would wake up every day and start like singing as practice to get into the voice
Yeah.
of it.
and you're
It's
like
a lot of work.
pushing the muscles
And then having
stuff.
to talk like him for
Yeah.
however many hours a day, and then sing like him, and then reshoot.
Yeah, there's other actors who are known to get into the whole method acting.
Yeah, Daniel Day-Lewis and
Yeah.
like Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, Shia pulled a tooth for
Yeah.
Fury.
Yeah, he cut his face with a knife too.
Yeah, good
He
job.
pulled a tooth.
He pulled a tooth and apparently cut his face for Fury,
Wow.
the war movie with Brad Pitt.
He said they were all in the makeup trailer, and you saw Brad getting like makeup done, and he was like, "This is supposed to be a war movie, and we're getting makeup done." So he cut his face with this knife in front of Brad when he was getting his makeup done, and then he went and he had them pull one of his lower teeth out because he did research. He spent like 9 months or like a year with this military unit riding around in tanks.
Yeah.
And in the seat he was in, he was like, "There's just this big metal silt like block in front of my face, and every time we'd hit like a bump, it would almost slam my face into that." And I knew like, if this real character had been in this tank for like 5 years and had gone from Africa all the way up to Germany,
He would have busted out his
he
tooth.
probably would have hit his face at least once, and that's why he pulled the tooth.
I mean, respect to Shia. John Bernthal loves Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah.
Like he's had a lot of great experience with him, and he's talked about him in podcasts and things like that. And apparently, Shia is a cool dude. He's really intense
Yeah.
when it comes to acting.
Some people are just an acquired taste.
Yeah.
Like,
Do you remember when it was quarantine and that group of actors came together and they did
yeah,
like
the Fast
We Are
Times
the
at Ridgemont
World.
High.
yes, and
Oh, no, what?
Shia LaBeouf was
They
the
did
best
Oh.
part
Zoom
of that.
reading.
Yeah.
He played
Yeah.
Spicoli.
Yeah, I remember
He was
that.
sitting in his car outside, and it was like he had just been smoking. It was really foggy.
Yeah, his eyes were all bloodshot, and he's in the driver's seat
Yeah.
of his car.
It was almost like he was not even aware that anybody was there.
And like Brad Pitt was in the reading. Sean
Jennifer
Penn was in the
Aniston.
reading,
Yeah, I
playing
saw
a
it.
different character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were fun. There are some good things that came out of the lockdown. A lot of little people getting together here and there that wouldn't have gotten together otherwise.
Yeah.
A lot of reunions that happened via Zoom that wouldn't have happened otherwise.
I was talking about it the other day. Like, I wish I could redo the whole quarantine just so like I could do more of the things I wish I had done when I had like
Yeah,
a year where I had nothing to do.
right. Because when it started, you're like, this may end tomorrow.
Yeah, it's
but
like
you just never knew.
I've had the thought before, like, man, if I went to prison, I would spend the whole time like working out. I would get in like great shape. I would read a ton of books. I would like finish a college degree. I would do like all
do it
this
all.
I would do all this productive stuff, and like I know I'd probably just sleep most of the time in reality.
You're
But,
on your
like-
metal bed.
Most
But
people
yeah,
don't realize they
that's
don't
how
have.
I feel about quarantine. It's like I wish I
Yeah.
could go back and do like all this stuff I would have like benefited from.
Right. Yeah. Things you would do if you couldn't leave your space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
While getting a check from the government.
Yeah. No, my quarantine was a different
Yeah.
thing.
Let's get on to the bad ones.
Okay.
Let's hear some ones you guys didn't like, ones you did, well, ones that are generally panned but you actually liked, and vice versa.
Well, I generally only watched the ones that I was interested in, and they always ended up good for the most part.
I saw this article on Rolling Stones about it was like a list of the best and worst biopics.
Yeah,
and
I
I
saw
like
that too.
I like reading what other people's opinions are cuz I don't necessarily always have an opinion myself. So I liked that they had this whole list, and the first one they said was The Doors, which is one of your favorites.
I mean, it's not one of my favorites, but I own it. I like the
okay.
movie. Yeah, like most of that list of the worst that you have,
You have it on your biopics favorite list right here.
it doesn't say favorites. It says good.
Okay.
But yeah, like yeah, most of the ones listed on your worst, I actually really enjoyed.
See, I haven't watched a few of these, but I know I watched The Runaways and Amelia. And I actually really like The Runaways.
Yeah, like I did not like Beyond the Sea, the
Yeah.
Kevin Spacey
Yeah.
one,
The Bobby
where,
Darin
where he's
biopic,
like 20 to
biopic.
30 years older than he should be
Yeah.
in every scene.
Mm.
I also really didn't like the David Bowie one that came out a couple years ago that had Mark Maron in it.
I don't think I saw that one.
It's called Stardust.
Oh, that one was on a lot of negative lists.
It was not good. The
I
guy
would.
guy didn't remind me of Bowie at all.
Yeah.
Did
Did Mark Maron play Bowie?
No, he was his like road manager in
Oh, okay.
America.
Okay.
Alexander,
I was about to say Alexander. Yeah.
that's just a long wank
We-
fest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love Colin Farrell. He was not the right person to be cast in that role.
Yeah, you've got J. Edgar on your list. That's one of the few Leo movies that I didn't enjoy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and at the end it said A Beautiful Mind, which won an Oscar. So I think that they kind of like to fuck with people
Yeah,
at the Rolling Stones.
I loved A Beautiful Mind, and
A Beautiful Mind was good.
I liked it so much that I looked up the real John Nash and found his number. I think it was Princeton where he worked, and I found his office, and I used to call it when I got drunk, and I would leave him messages. And one time he answered the phone, and I didn't really know what to say, so I just told him I was a fan, and I hung up.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I talked to that guy.
That's a really interesting piece of trivia.
I stalked him online. And then there was a biopic about me.
All right. I've got a list of the worst,
Okay.
and we're gonna see if they've already met our list or if they're new. I've never seen this one, but Blonde, the Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah, that
never
came
saw
up a
it.
lot.
Yeah. Listed as the bottom of the list, number 15 on the list of 1 through 15. J. Edgar, I think that's the DiCaprio.
Yeah.
J. Edgar Hoover.
Yeah.
It's very long and dull.
Long and
And,
dull.
like-
Another one I've never seen.
Leo doing a bunch of homoerotic things.
Has J. Edgar Hoover?
Well, Hoover was a cross-dresser, and he would engage in like homosexual
What?
acts behind closed doors, and then but he was also spending all his time trying to bust other people, like
Yeah.
JFK and Martin Luther King, for their affairs.
The last two sentences of this review are, who was J. Edgar Hoover really? The truth is out there, just not in this messy biopic. The Greatest Showman, which is already on your list.
Yeah.
We've covered that. Beyond the Sea.
Yeah.
Looks like you're hitting all the ones. The Messenger, the story of Joan of Arc.
Yeah, I didn't like that one. The Mila Jovovich.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Another one I never saw. I missed out on a lot of them recently. I guess in the past 15 years.
Yeah, I mean, there are so many like that I didn't even consider them as biopics until I don't know, we started making these lists.
Right. Did you ever see that Diana?
No.
No, me either.
I heard I did see that was on a list, and they said she won the Razzie for like worst performance.
Yeah. The
Of the
Stardust David Bowie movie's also on this list.
Yeah, no redeeming qualities really.
All Eyes on Me, 2017.
I never saw that one.
No, me either. Apparently, it's not good.
Well, I saw the Biggie one, and I liked the Notorious movie, but
Yeah.
I never saw the Tupac one.
Yeah, it's not reviewed well. Great Balls of Fire?
Yeah, that's the.
Oh, that's the Dennis Quaid one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's panned a lot, but I actually thought it was kind of a fun movie to watch. I enjoyed it. It's like, but I'm only 13, Jerry,
Jobs
and I'm
is
your
on
cousin.
there. The Jobs movie is on there that you guys were talking about.
I thought you
earlier.
said Jaws.
Jaws. Jobs. Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah, they released 2 or 3 of those movies within like a year of each other.
Yeah. That's something I was thinking about, the dueling biopics.
Yeah.
Yeah. When 2 movie groups, I guess, come up with doing the same biopic at the same time, around the same time, I kind of wonder how did they get to that point. Like, I wonder if someone shopped around or kind of an idea for it, and it just kind of exploded in multiple.
I think also when like if
Productions.
one is successful, they see that as like, well, we can jump on that bandwagon and we'll
Yeah.
at least get some of that audience to come see this.
Clearly, people like what we just did. Let's bank on that.
Like there was a Titanic movie within a year of the original Titanic movie,
Really?
and it had the dad from the OC was like the main guy in
I
it,
did not know that.
and
But my head they're so close together. I found so many that are like within a year or 2 of each other. I can't imagine
Titanic
that
also.
filming production. Yeah, Titanic is totally a biopic. Well,
well, some of the people, John Jacob Astor,
kind of, yeah.
Again, we get in this muddy water of what constitutes a biopic. Like, if one person existed, is it a biopic?
It's like when they released Armageddon and Deep Impact in the same summer. But those aren't real, but like they're the same
But
theme.
to me, I can't imagine that production was so fast that they saw the movie and then they went out and made the same movie.
Well, they probably saw the other one was getting made, and so
Yeah.
they were probably rushing to beat it.
Right. But when I was looking up the different biopics, there's Philip Seymour Hoffman and Toby Jones and Truman Capote. They both came out within a year of each other.
Philip Seymour Hoffman one was good.
Yeah, he was phenomenal.
The other one, he looked more like
I didn't think his like voice was a Capote. I felt like in Infamous his voice is more cartoonish,
Yeah.
and Philip Seymour Hoffman was a lot more, I don't know, regal, I guess.
Blood.
Yeah, but I actually think that Sandra Bullock played a better Harper Lee in
And Catherine
Infamous.
Keener.
Infamous.
Yeah, but Catherine Keener won an award for her portrayal, but I thought Sandra Bullock did a
Well,
better job.
who do we have to write letters to?
Then there's Kurt Russell and Kevin Costner for Wyatt Earp. I've only seen Tombstone, so I don't really know if Wyatt Earp was any good.
Wyatt Earp was good, but it's not as good as Tombstone.
No.
Yeah, because Tombstone's a great ensemble work. Like, you've got all
Yeah.
those great actors, like, together. And then Wyatt Earp is focused on Costner.
I mean, it's a solid movie.
Which is
and
fine.
It covers a lot of the same stuff, but it's just, I don't know, Tombstone just is stylized. The way, all the style and everything is just better.
I'll be your Huckleberry.
It's full of more, like, one-liners and memorable dialogue and stuff.
Yeah, and there's like a whole Tombstone, like get together every year, right? Where they watch the original.
They all get together and watch it.
I don't think that Wyatt Earp, the movie, probably has a get together either.
No.
No. Then there's Michael Fassbender and Ashton Kutcher as Steve Jobs.
And Justin Long and I, Steve. That's
Yeah.
my honorable mention. It's not true at all. It's a big joke, but
I think
it's
I've
great.
only seen the Fassbender one.
You know, Fassbender was quoted as saying that he studied Ashton Kutcher for his role.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. And then there's Helen Bonham Carter.
Helena Bonham Carter.
Helena
Bonham Carter.
Helena Bonham Carter.
Yeah.
Helena Cell.
And Lindsay Lohan as Elizabeth Taylor. But those were both like made for TV movies.
I never saw
for the
either.
BBC
Yeah.
and Lifetime.
Never saw them.
Do you think that's because it's a biopic about women?
I think it's because it was made for TV.
I think
Where did it
it's
go?
'cause I think it's because it's
Well, how many biopics have you seen that were about women?
plenty. I think it's because
Monster.
it's a biopic about a woman.
Oh, Monster's a good one too.
Yeah.
I think it's because it's a biopic about a woman I don't care about.
Oh, you don't care about Elizabeth Taylor?
No.
What? When did this happen? Shouldn't we all care about Elizabeth Taylor?
Should we care at all?
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live.
Back to Monster. Talk about method acting in Monster. That she
Charlize Theron did
method
great.
acted the hell out of that one.
Yeah, she was great in that.
Yeah. She put on a few pounds too.
Yeah,
A lot
and
of
put
makeup.
prosthetics and
Yeah.
fake teeth and
Yeah.
just like acted
Oh,
the hell
yeah.
out
I
She
of
really
remember her
killed some
teeth.
men too.
it. She murdered
She
a
got
few
really
dudes.
into it.
She had to get into it.
Where are the bodies, Charlize?
Where are the bodies?
It's kind of like Gary Oldman does that too. He's very known
Murders
for,
people.
Well, no, but serious method acting.
No, he was Sid Vicious. He was really good in that.
Yeah, it was great in that. Sid and Nancy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he was Winston Churchill in The Darkest Hour.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great in that. He said he got tobacco poisoning from
Yes, he
or
did.
nicotine poisoning from smoking so
Yeah.
many cigars.
Yeah.
And they went through like an insane cigar
I
budget.
think
in
it
that
was
movie.
11 or 12 cigars every scene.
I want to say he said something like $50,000.
Oh, I believe it.
Technically,
cigar
he
budget.
also played Dracula, and Dracula was a real person.
Vlad Dracula was a real person, but he wasn't Dracula.
Yeah. Then there's Daniel
Yeah, no,
Day-Lewis.
Vlad Dracula is Dracula.
Right, but he wasn't like the undead suck your blood Dracula
We
that
don't know
Gary
that.
Oldman played.
I wasn't around back then. were you?
Dracula's not a biopic.
I know where the bloody bastard sleeps.
I know where he sleeps.
Okay, Keanu.
I know where he sleeps.
I know where the bloody bastard sleeps.
Then there's Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah, he's great in everything.
You know, in the movie, was it what Relevant? Is that
The
Revenant?
Revenant?
Revenant. Oh Lord,
He's not in that.
he's not.
No,
No, it's
That's
Tom
Le-
Hardy and Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
but that is a biopic.
Yeah.
You were talking about if we were to make a movie about our own lives, who would play the roles in them? And I'm curious. We all made our own little lists of the actors and actresses we would get to play each other. We made them for our families and like friends too.
Well, to an extent.
We might save that for later and just do the three of us for now. I don't know. We could do them all.
Are you just itching to know who I chose?
I want to know who you chose. I want to know who Jason chose. Me,
Yeah.
everybody.
And I was also thinking about if we did have a biopic of our life and we chose our actors and whatever, what would the storyline be? Because I don't know that I would have my biopic would be very interesting if it was my whole life.
We have creative license. You can edit and adjust and embellish.
Well, I was like, what part of my life would I want the biopic to be about? Or what would I think that would be the most interesting part?
Winning Teacher of the Year.
No, I don't think that's very interesting.
I don't know. It could.
I'd
say
probably
it's-
do age
Age?
9 through
Oh.
present day. So
9
I would
through...
need to cast a kid, and I haven't
That's
done
a
that.
big space of time.
Well, it's a biopic. Like,
Yeah.
it's supposed to be about your life.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't go all the way to birth. There's no point. Oh, I was born. I'm a baby. Oh,
I don't know, but
I pooed my diaper. Oh.
do you feel like it would be an interesting biopic if you watched it?
Potentially.
Yeah.
I might
Yeah.
need to make mine like
You'd have to tell the story right.
a young Sheldon kind of situation where it's just about me as a child because I was extremely talented and natural at everything I did.
And you
I-
also got into some serious situations.
I would just be a prodigy at everything. And
Oh,
then
okay.
I hit adulthood and I just hit a wall and I'm not good at anything anymore.
I thought
was-
you would be talking about the time you ran down the street taking off all your clothes.
Frank the Tank.
And then you were pooping while you ran.
Okay.
Why do you wait until the podcast to say stuff like this?
That was one of the best stories I've ever heard, and I would want to see it in a biopic. Are you telling me you wouldn't want to see that in a movie?
Well, so if we're making a movie about our own lives, are we including the most embarrassing and worst parts of our lives?
That's
or,
a part of boyhood, I
or
think.
are we listing off the achievements and good things?
Well, then if it's all about the good things, then that's kind of boring, isn't it?
Not
Well,
necessarily.
I mean, you can include bad things, but I mean, maybe not necessarily embarrassing things.
I thought that was a great story, and I would like to watch it in a movie.
All right,
Like,
well,
'cause there are things everyone can relate to. That's not necessarily a relatable story that you want to include in a biopic. Like, oh, I feel for this guy. Been there, done that. But what about, I don't know.
It would be hysterical.
so let's get started. Who wants to start off for our own movies who we would cast?
You go ahead.
All right, for mine, for myself, I couldn't decide. I listed 4 different actors.
Yeah, you were hard to pick for.
I picked Jonah Hill,
Okay.
Nick Offerman, Seth Rogen, and Zach Galifianakis as myself.
Okay.
For you, I picked a few. I picked Nicola Coughlan from
Are you serious?
Bridgerton.
That's literally who I picked too. Okay.
Laura Prepon
Uh-huh.
and Kate Winslet.
Oh, okay. Well, now we're getting into unrealistic.
For Jason, I picked Paul Rudd and Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Okay.
And for our friend Lance, I picked Forrest Whitaker.
All right. Well, for me, I picked Nicola Coughlan again. I've been watching a lot of Bridgerton. For my brother, Matt Peters. Do you know who that is?
No.
He's the guard from Orange is the New Black.
The one who got her pregnant?
No, the other one, the one that's like a dirtbag, kind of.
Porn stash?
No, he's the one that works
I've
in
never
electrical.
seen it, so I can't.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then for my other brother Gabriel, I thought about, and I don't know if I'll be able to say this name correctly, but it's Nkuti Gatwa. He's a new Doctor Who.
Oh, I know who you're
Yeah.
talking about.
Do you know? And I feel like
Yeah.
he would be a good person for Gabriel. And then my mom is Meryl Streep, because Meryl Streep is amazing.
I always saw my mom as Meryl Streep, too, when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I thought about, for you, Colin Firth, but specifically the BBC Pride and Prejudice 1995 version of Colin Firth. And then, okay, so this guy does not look like my dad, but I just get really good dad vibes from him, and that would be Jim Broadbent.
Okay.
I don't know who that is.
I know
Yes,
who
you
you're
do.
talking about.
He's an English actor.
Yeah.
What's he in?
He's in
lot of stuff. Yeah.
If you saw his face, you'd be like, oh yeah, totally. And then I was thinking about like Millie Bobby Brown as my sister. Like I feel like they'd have a good vibe together.
I thought of one for your dad. He's not an actor, but he reminds me of your dad.
Yeah.
The director of Francis Ford Coppola.
Oh.
I think they look and kind of sound the same.
My dad would love that. Oh, he would love that. That's a big compliment to my dad.
Yeah. I
Okay.
know who Jim Broadbent is.
Yeah. Have you ever seen Bridget Jones's Diary? He's her father in that.
Part of it, I think.
Okay.
I've got our cast. I didn't list family, but I do have Jonathan. And my biopic idea is a little more comedically direct, like in that direction. So I've got Jonathan as Jason Segel. Jessica is Jessica Chastain. Lance is Jay Farrow. and I'm Kevin Connolly from Entourage. Do you know who Kevin Connolly is? Yeah.
E. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my cast. Kevin Connolly, Jason Segel, Jessica Chastain, and Jay Farrell.
Yeah,
You can
nice.
see it, right? I
Yeah.
told you we were talking about it. Like, when I tell you, it's going to make sense.
Yeah, I feel like all of ours would have different feels based on the cast. Like,
Yeah.
yours seems more comedic.
Yeah.
Hers seems more like maybe drama, romantic.
Well, in my mind, this is weird, but in my mind, the only interesting part of my life that I thought could be relevant for a biopic was like being diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis as a child, and like
Oh.
having to go through like really intense medical problems,
Yeah.
and then like overcoming it. Like I was like, that could be a good biopic. I like that. I'm in remission now, but
Yeah.
as a child, especially in middle school, I was like, man, that's very dramatic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a lot of really like weird little things that have happened through my life, but not one I think that I would just be like, that's the thing I would hang my hat on and make it all about.
I wasn't saying like that was the defining moment of my life. I think it was more like this would be the most interesting biopic, and I could see it being a drama.
Yeah. And the people that I cast can also do serious work. Like, so we can do the whole cascade of emotions and events and whatever. But at the end of the day, we're all having fun.
Yeah, another biopic. This Jason Segel as David Foster Wallace.
Oh yeah.
Well, it was like right after he made Infinite Jest, and Jesse Eisenberg is interviewing him for a book.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, I liked that one.
I don't think I saw that one.
And that was a dramatic movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they're all capable. Who did you cast as me?
Paul Rudd,
Paul Rudd,
or
that's
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Okay, that's right. That's right.
Do you ever think there'll be a day where biopics are essentially made with AI?
I hope not. I
I
mean,
mean, they just did a full stand-up set from George Carlin
yeah, I
from
heard
Beyond
that.
the Grave, and it's weird because
It
like
sounds just like him.
yeah, and like a lot of the premises are the same for his stuff, but it's like the part where it makes a joke is like it's not the natural thing
Yeah,
conclusion you would come to at the end. It's something
but it
bizarre.
sounds like him. It's like
Yeah.
it's there, but it's not there. It's a little off.
I could just see in the future like actors wearing like a green suit and then like clothes over it, and then them doing facial reconstruction of like Abraham Lincoln based off of old photographs.
Yeah, for sure.
I could see that being a thing, and it's no longer having to act. It's more about moving, like
And
moving through the space.
They've done versions of that in film already, where they
Yeah.
just fill in a historical character's face, and just move on. But there's like, I wonder what the right limits are on that. Like for that image,
Yeah.
like how can you use someone's face in that way, and what do you have to go through? Do they have to approve? I think Scarlett Johansson just sued some AI program because they used her voice.
Oh wow.
Just like.
No, some commercial did, I think. For
No, it was some AI like program. They were using her voice as the voice of the program, and she declined. And then after she declined, they went ahead and used AI to match her voice anyway and sent it out.
It's like
And
what they
so
did with the
she's suing
Ghostbusters
them.
song.
What do you mean?
Oh, it was a Huey Lewis and the News song, and they were like, "Can we use your song for the movie?" And he was like, "No." And so they just ripped off Huey Lewis and the News and made the Ghostbusters theme song, and it's just slightly different with different vocals.
How am I not aware of this? What Huey Lewis song?
All of them. They're all sound
yeah.
the same.
Yeah.
Oh.
Huey Lewis doesn't really make more than one song.
Oh, come on. Let's not start this.
I
debate.
like
It's
Huey
not really
Lewis.
Huey Lewis and the News either. It's kind of Huey Lewis and the Olds.
Burn.
That's my Huey burn.
Fuck you, Huey.
I'd be really interested to see like 2 biopic movies that were sequentially made, and that they told one story but from different perspectives. Have you ever seen anything kind of like that?
Yeah, I mean, it's not a biopic, but they have this whole story of was it some Guildenstern? It's Tim Roth and Gary Oldman are playing two characters from Hamlet. But it's like what they're doing during everything. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, they're the characters, and it's Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead is the name of the movie, and it's happening at the same time as like the story we all know, but it's like these side characters.
Yeah, I've heard of it. I don't
obviously,
think I've
it's
seen
Shakespeare and not historical, but it's the same concept.
Yeah.
I've been thinking a lot about actors who play multiple biopics, and how that could affect each movie, you know?
Just like you associate them with that other character so
Yeah.
much that it's hard to see them as the new one.
Yeah. Or that it kind of diminishes any other biopic after that, especially if there's upwards of like 11 or 12 biopics.
I think it totally depends on the actor. Because there are some who have been chameleoning roles their whole career, and it's not hard to imagine them in each role, so it just depends.
Well, you know, Tom Hanks was in Apollo 13, Charlie Wilson's War, Captain Phillips, Saving Mr. Banks, Bridge of Spies, Sully the Post, Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, Forrest Gump.
Otto.
Just kidding.
Otto. Yeah, no, that was one too.
Oh, yeah.
That's not a real person.
No, it's
Is it
not.
not? Oh.
Forrest Gump isn't real either, but it feels real. It feels like a biopic.
He met Nixon.
Then there's Johnny Depp and Ed Wood. Have you ever seen Ed Wood? That was
Yeah.
that was on a lot of really popular lists.
Yeah, that's
lists.
a real.
I really like him in most of the real roles he's played.
Yeah, he's in Fear and Loathing, Donnie Brasco, Blow from Hell, Finding Neverland.
He's also in that mob movie,
Black
The Rum
Mass.
Diary.
Black Mass. Yeah.
Also, he was in Donald Trump's The Art of a Deal, and that's a movie.
I never saw that one.
It's supposed to be a funny movie, kind of like your Justin Long one.
Oh,
Yeah.
where he played Donald Trump. I
Yes.
did see that.
And then there's Meryl Streep. I think that's probably why I chose Meryl Streep for my mom, because she's been in so many biopic movies. And
Well,
done
she
such a
can
great
do any
job.
role.
Yeah. You know what she says her secret is for each role?
Being Meryl Streep.
Besides being Meryl Streep, she actually says it's her eyebrow person. Yeah. It's the person who plucks her eyebrows. They kind of plan out an eyebrow, and apparently she feels like the changes in the eyebrow shape affect the way that she looks, and that she
Well,
says
it is
that
true.
They
the
kind of
change,
get together before every movie and figure it out.
It is the change in an eyebrow shape does change the way you look, but it's amazing that that's like the catalyst to her really getting into character.
Well, that's what she says. You know, I think with the Iron Lady, I don't think she had much eyebrows in that one.
Change my eyebrows.
They were really thin eyebrows.
I
And that
don't
one-
feel it. Change them.
Did you ever see the Iron Lady, Jonathan?
I saw parts of it. I never saw the whole thing.
What about Julie and Julia?
I've seen that one, yeah.
What about Florence Foster Jenkins?
No.
Suffragette?
No.
Music of the Heart?
Yes.
Out of Africa?
Yes.
Silkwood?
No.
One True Thing?
No.
Adaptation?
Yeah, adaptation's great.
And The Post?
I never saw The Post.
Okay, but comparatively, have you seen Johnny Depp's Ed Wood?
Yep.
Fear and Loathing?
Yep.
Donnie Brasco?
Yep.
Blow?
Yep.
From Hell?
Yep.
Finding Neverland?
Yep.
The Libertine?
No.
Black Mass?
Yes.
Public Enemies?
Yes.
Rum Diary?
Yes.
What about the Donald Trump one?
No.
So you've significantly seen more of a male genre biopic than female.
I think that's just how it is in general with everyone.
That there's just more male.
There's just more male biopics.
There are more
being
male-led
released.
projects than female-led projects.
Like if we had watched every biopic ever created, we would have seen more male biopics.
And
than
if you had
female
listed
biopics.
every film Meryl Streep had ever been in, I would have said yes to a lot more. Those are just the biopic movies.
It's not our fault.
On Rolling Stone's list of the top 25 biopics, they posted Lawrence of Arabia as being number one. Have y'all seen that?
When I was a
Yes,
kid,
I
When you
saw
were
it
a
as
kid. That's a
as well.
3-hour movie.
I haven't seen
I
that
saw it
since
with
I
my
was in like junior
grandfather.
high.
I was with my grandfather in his den, and I saw it in passing.
Is your
while I was
grandfather a
playing.
lion?
No.
He saw it in his den.
In his den.
They also
He had a
had
den.
Malcolm X, which I've read the
a
book
great one.
and
It
seen
is
the
a good
movie.
one.
And
Denzel.
it's actually really good, and it's a
Poor man's
great
Denzel
representation.
Washington.
A great representation of the book too.
Yeah.
One that was on there that I haven't
Malcolm
seen.
X is like right over there.
Yeah, it's over there. It's my book pile. That I haven't seen that I really want to is 24-Hour Party People.
I love that movie.
I wondered if you'd seen it. Okay.
Steve Coogan, main guy.
Love Steve Coogan.
Yeah.
24-Hour Party People. It's a biopic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's plays Tony Wilson. He created the like Manchester music scene for like
Oh, okay.
New Order and Joy Division and like all that whole club scene over there.
Yeah, Steve Coogan's great.
Another one I haven't seen but I would want to see is Coal Miner's Daughter about
I've
Loretta
seen
Lynn.
That's
Sissy
great.
Spacek.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you seen it?
Tommy Lee
Yeah.
Jones
I
is
need
her
to see it.
abusive
Yeah.
husband.
Okay. That's on my other list of things to see. You know, 2 Daniel Day-Lewis movies were on it. It was Lincoln and My Left Foot.
Yeah.
My Left Foot is good. I've never seen Lincoln.
What?
good.
I said
That
I've
was
never
a
seen
very
Lincoln.
popular
Steven
one when
Spielberg.
it came out.
Yeah, I know.
How did that happen?
I just never got around to it.
You're under a rock.
I just never got around to seeing it.
Wow.
Probably watching kids' movies or something.
Well, one movie that was also on the list was I'm Not There with Kate Blanchett in there, who plays Bob
the
Dylan.
Bob Dylan movie.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah.
There were
A lot of good
3
performances
or 4
throughout
different
it.
people playing him in that.
I think
Yeah.
it was 6 different people.
Yeah, there's a few.
Yeah. And well, it started making me think about like biopics where people were playing opposite gendered roles
Yeah.
in the biopic. And immediately thought about Boys Don't Cry, but that's a part of the inherent story.
How about
with
Eddie
Hilary
Redmayne
Swank.
and
Huh?
the Danish girl?
Yes, that's my other one. It was
Yeah.
Danish Girl and Eddie Redmayne.
Yeah.
But also that was again a part of the whole
Or
storyline.
Amanda
Yeah.
Bynes in that one movie.
She's all that.
I actually
She's the man.
I
Yeah,
like She's the Man a lot. A whole lot. That was a good one. Yeah, but you know, they actually asked Bob Dylan if he liked I'm Not There. And I looked up the quote, and he was quoted as saying the most Bob Dylan response, in my mind at least. And
yeah,
it was,
man.
Yeah, I thought it was all right. Can you do a Bob Dylan impression of that?
Yeah, I thought it was all right.
Ooh, that was good. That was good.
That kind of sounded a little cartoony, but
No, it was a good one. I wonder if Timothy Chalamet will do as good of an impression as you.
there's this video I really like of Bob Dylan in his hotel room, and there's like probably 50 people. It's like a big suite, and it's full of people, and he only knows some of them, and they're all drinking, and somebody threw a glass, like they were drinking, and they threw their glass out the window into the street, and the cops came up, and they wanted to know who did it, and he's like, who threw the glass, man? I just want to know who threw it. I don't even care, man. He's like, it's just the principle of the thing. I just want to know. I just want to know who threw the glass. And he keeps just like going off, and no one will admit to it. And the musician Donovan is there, and he's just sitting around looking around awkwardly, like singing his little songs, and Bob Dylan's just raging, just like, I don't even care, man. I don't know any of you fuckers. You can all get the fuck out of here. I don't care. I just want to know who threw the glass. All right, anyway, back to the.
And Bob Dylan's super scary. It's like, oh, Bob Dylan's mad.
I'm not going to turn you in, man. I just want to know who did it.
through the glass.
I bet it would be weird to be still alive and they're making a movie about you, like a biopic like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I actually looked it up. There's a lot of celebrities who were still alive that got biopics made of them, and they fucking hated it. They were not about it.
Well, can you imagine they're like, we're going to turn your life story into a movie, and then you find out this is who's playing you, and you're like, they don't look anything like me. And it's like,
They're
I
not
don't,
going to.
I don't even like that actor. And then they're like, and then you see the movie, and they're like, wait a minute, like, this isn't about my life. This is about like a 6-month period in my life, and it's the worst part of my life. And they make me look like shit.
That's why I went by height and age for my casting for our
Yeah.
biopics.
But wouldn't you have to get the sign off for it? Like, or could you just go about it and not?
I think you could go through with it as long as you would have to change names probably.
But they
and, like,
don't. We all know it's obviously, about
Yeah.
this person. Like recently, the whole Pam and Tommy biopic. Pamela
I actually
Anderson
thought
did
that
not
was
like
really
it.
good. Like
I did too. I thought it was really
It
good.
I
got
thought
great
th-
reviews. didn't it?
they looked and sounded and acted just like them too.
Wasn't that
Sebastian
Winter Soldier?
Stan.
Yeah, Sebastian Stan.
And then the girl, I forget her name. She was the girl from Iron Claw, wasn't it? Who married Zac Efron in that.
Hmm.
I don't remember.
And she just had a bunch of makeup on.
I don't remember.
Another one was Ike Turner didn't like What's Love Got to Do with It.
Well, of course he wouldn't.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't
Well, it
think
was
he
just-
would have liked it
I
at
don't
all.
appreciate how that movie portrayed me.
They just made me beating up my wife for 2 hours.
Then there's Jada Pinkett Smith in All Eyes on Me. She didn't like, I guess, her portrayal
Yeah.
of it.
Jada Pinkett Smith doesn't like anything.
No, she doesn't.
She seems to be a negative Nancy.
Yeah. She's not easy, I think.
I think we should just keep her name out of our mouths.
Well,
We did lock the door, right?
I just saw the Hank Williams movie. It was Tom Hiddleston as Hank Williams.
He did a pretty good job as Hank Williams, like singing the
I
songs.
disagreed. I don't think he
Ooh.
looked anything like him.
He didn't look like
His
him.
voice definitely didn't sound like him. He sounded.
I guess I need to rewatch
his
it. then.
accent was dog shit, and his singing voice sounded nothing like him. But,
to be fair, I only saw it once, and
I
it's
thought-
been a long
I
time.
thought it was terrible casting. I was really bummed about that movie.
well, his son,
His grandson,
Grandson.
Hank the Third.
yeah, he claimed that Hiddleston had no soul with it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So,
They should have
Okay.
gotten Hank Williams III to do it. He looks like his grandpa.
yeah, but he might not be able to act.
He can sing. He can respond to the name Hank.
Mark
Right.
Zuckerberg didn't like The Social Network.
Well,
course
that whole
he did.
movie's about how he's like autistic and
Yeah.
antisocial.
Well, she doesn't want anybody to know that.
Probably not.
That's why he made Facebook, is because we're all kind of antisocial.
Boom.
Antisocial
Lawyered.
social network.
Antisocial network.
I think Austin Butler did a great job as Elvis.
I did too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
He
am.
did
Like
pretty
he's
good.
saying for the most part, he's saying what was on screen.
I really can't wait to see the bike riders with him in it.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
And that's another dueling one because they had Priscilla that came out pretty close to the
Yeah, with the
Austin
guy
Butler one.
from Euphoria.
Yeah.
In it.
Yeah. I didn't see Priscilla at all,
I
but I
didn't
heard
see
it
it
was
either.
really good. And it's mostly about Priscilla
Right.
Presley. So,
Right.
but it's an interesting thought that, like, you see, and that's kind of what I was talking about with the seeing one biopic, but you see it from different perspectives, and it's
Yeah.
about two different people in the same situation.
That's why one biopic gets seen and another doesn't. Sometimes they make it from a perspective that no one cares about. You've already shown me what I care about, and now you're going to show me the perspective from this other person.
So you've only seen the one about the male perspective.
I've only seen Elvis. I didn't even see Priscilla. That's not the case in everything. There's
It's like I went and saw the movie about the person who made the world fall in love with them and their talents. I
Right.
didn't see the one about the person that married that person.
right.
Okay.
What's the interest?
Yeah.
I just don't understand. It has nothing to do with male, female. It's like
I think it's just a point that
I've
I'm
never
making about
wanted to
Jonathan.
see that perspective.
Well, I think you're just inherently wrong.
Oh, no.
But-
That's been Hello Moon, the biopic episode. If you have any thoughts on who would play you in a biopic, please comment below.
Hello, Moon.
Hello, moon.
Hello, Moon.
Hiya, moon.
Hiya, Moon.
Hello, moon.
Hello, Moon.
Hello, moon.
Hello. Hello. Hello, Moon.
Hello, moon.
Hello, Moon.
Hello, moon.
I did not consent.
Yabba dabba doo.
Hello, Moon.
Hello, moon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't sign up for all that. I didn't sign up for all that.